So a lot of you guys have been asking me about my Roland FA-06, and you're asking me if it was a good purchase or not. So I'm going to tell you guys if it was a good purchase or not. Let's get to it.
Bolo!
All right, before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe, comment, and please turn on those post notifications so you will know the next time I have another video available. And at the end of this video, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you do not like this video, you can hit that thumbs down. You know, I really don't care. All right, so the Roland FA-06, a lot of you guys want to know just some basic answers about the keyboard and my honest opinions about it. Was it a good buy? Yes, it was a good buy. Was it a great buy? Yes, it was a great buy. Was it something I needed? No, I did not need it. Did not necessarily need it because VSTs are great. They sound great. If anybody tells you that VSTs are not comparable to the actual keyboards, they're lying. Why did I get it? The reason why I got it is because I got fed up with having to deal with computer issues so far as the lack of CPU power, having to have so much RAM, and a lot of these VSTs were taking so much from my sessions that I had to either bounce them down or I had to do certain things just to stay involved in my sessions. That's the reason why I wanted to get an actual hardware unit. Now, I call it a hardware unit. Is it a complete analog unit? No. But for all of you people out there who are like, oh, these new keyboards are nothing but computers, these keyboards have been nothing but computers since the 80s. If it has presets, it stores sounds, it has a RAM or a ROM, and it has some type of storage in it, then damn it, it's pretty much a doggone computer. It's been like that for a long time. Even when I used to produce back in the early 2000s, when I had my 2500, I used to use the spit out from my keyboard into my 2500. It was a digital out and it sounded really good too. It was a very clean sound. Now these new keyboards, they just only have the 1/4 inch out to your mixer, or in my case to my MPC, and it sounds good. These sounds are really good, and the good thing about these keyboards that I like as well is you only can use but so much. You only have 16 tracks to use, and you have to make your decisions with that. Now, even though I do have 16 tracks to use inside of this keyboard, I don't usually use 16 tracks. The most I may use is 5 at the most, because I do all of my drum sounds inside of my MPCX. And most of the times when I'm making beats with it, I'm making beats with it in a standalone mode. So that really helps me out by just going through there, picking out my sounds and going without really having to deal with CPU issues, RAM issues, and stuff like that. Because once I get done with the beat, I can just save it, and then I can go ahead and just dump it into Logic Pro X. Now, I know a lot of you guys want to know, how does this thing sound? This thing sounds absolutely amazing because I can download so many sounds from their website, and I can go ahead and put it in here, and I can even download a lot of sounds from their flagship Roland products onto here as well, and they sound fantastic. Now, another thing is, y'all ask how I use this in my daily beat making process. Well, I kind of have a hybrid setup, but most of the time I just use my MPCX with this, and I like to use it, of course, in standalone mode, because I believe that standalone mode just sounds just a tad bit better. Just a tad bit. Maybe it's because, you know, when we're exporting it, we're actually exporting it through 1/4 inch cables into, you know, like the preamps of whatever sound card I'm using. Now, most of the time when I'm exporting stuff out of here, I'm exporting it into my UAD Apollo, and I'm using the pre's and stuff like that in there, or I am using my UAD X6, which the pre's in there are like super cool. It just sounds better coming out of standalone mode. I don't know why, but a few times I do use it alongside of some VSTs, and the good thing about this thing is you can use it as just a standalone unit, but you can use it as a MIDI controller as well. Certain days I may use this, certain days I just might want to use VSTs, but I can use this for both. And I love the duality. I love to be able to use it in two different ways, because, you know, as producers, we sometimes just want to just make beats, and it doesn't matter what we use. It just, sometimes we just like to use a plethora of things. That's kind of how I like to use it. All right, so let's talk about cost. This thing cost me about $1,400, and I know some of you guys are probably thinking $1,400, that's a lot when I can just buy VSTs. But let's think about this. Over the past couple months, I had bought the Korg collection, and I had bought what did I buy? I think the Korg and the Roland stuff and some other stuff. So I ended up spending like almost close to like $1,500 on just VSTs. And a lot of those VSTs were so big that I could only use like 2 or 3 of those things in my sessions, and my computer is fully maxed out. So it was kind of crazy. So I told myself, hey, you know what? I just got super fed up with it, and I just wanted to get something that sounded good, and I knew that if I used 2 or 3 different sounds in it, that it wasn't gonna give me any lag or anything. So that's why I bought it. So I believe the $1,400 was greatly justified, because I can go in here and I can just go to work without having to worry about, is my computer gonna crash? Is it gonna be a lag? Is it gonna be this? Is it gonna be that? No, I just load the sounds up and I go. It's a great thing for me. Now, let's talk about a few cons with this thing. The one thing is, it's gonna take a little bit of time because you're gonna have to route audio out of it. You can store some audio in here, and then you can kind of send it several different ways, but at the end of the day, it's still like a bouncing down process. I just go ahead and I bounce it down in Logic. I use mostly the click effect because I like how the clicks, you can just line up the clicks. And I actually got a video on that as well. So if y'all guys want to check that out, just go into my videos and you'll see how I sequence out my sounds from the MPCX. I like to just route my sounds out that way. I'll probably do like maybe 4 or 8 bar loops, and then I basically go inside of Logic and I just go ahead and sequence everything out. Now, I sometimes sequence everything out inside of the MPCX, and I just go ahead and mix everything, and I'll bounce down a 2-track from there, which is actually pretty fun to do. But yes, it is time consuming. It is gonna take some time. Even though I know we live in a microwave society, it's going to take some time. But I appreciate the time that I take with it, because I just feel better when I get the sound right inside of the keyboard and get the sounds right inside of the MPCX. And I'm telling you right now, when I play beats at certain studios, everything just comes out fatter. It just comes out sounding better. And people always ask, what did you make it on? What program did you make it on? And it's like, nah, I use my MPC and I use my Roland FA-06, and it just gives me a bigger, fatter sound. And people that can really kind of hear it notice it, and you'll notice it, you'll feel it when you're playing beats. But you still got to get a good mix on it though. But for some reason, just those sounds come out sounding so much bigger. And I've played basses on Logic, FL, and I played the same bass on here, and it's no comparison. I could be tripping, but that's just my honest opinion from like the 8 billion people in the world. It's just my one opinion. It's not everybody else's. Now, another con is you can't really take it anywhere. Yeah, unless, you want to take it somewhere, but I don't really take mine. Like if I'm doing pretty big sessions or whatever, I just bring my laptop, or most of the times I just take my iPad, because I make beats on Beatmaker 3 as well. So I don't really like to take it. This is strictly for like my home studio. So I do all of my production on this here. And if you want beats from off of this thing, then you're gonna have to just get the beats that I send you, or if I trust you, I might let you come over here and we can work. But if I don't trust you like that, you ain't coming over here. So you just gotta take the beats that I give you. And that's pretty much about it. Like, pretty much love the actual keyboard. I love how everything sounds in it. And with just those few things, that's pretty much all I can really say that's bad about it. Like, everything else is pretty cool. But do you need it? No, you don't need it. Is it a must thing to have in your studio? If you're somebody like me that's a little bit older and you're used to working on keyboards and drum machines and stuff like that, I'm almost for sure this is something that you guys will like. Little learning curve if you've been doing VSTs, because it's not as fast, but at the end of the day, it's fun. And that's what we need to understand, that music is just a tool to have fun with first. Then we worry about all of the other stuff later on. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. And if you don't have the Roland FA-06 and you think about getting a keyboard that's fairly cheap and is pretty decent, go ahead and get it. I love it. As you can see, I got my black edition, and I'm very pleased with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I always say, peace out.